when I lost my grandmother, I ended up singing and playing on guitar "What a Wonderful World" with my best friend Erin Childs at her funeral. You know, there's a celebration of life that I think I innately can relate to with Joe. And Jandy Nelson always referred to him as the sun, and there's virtue, there's dignity in being that person for people.
There were once two sisters. The older sister walked ahead of the younger one, so the younger one always knew where to go.
I love your film, and it seems like really I feel like I was around a teenager girl talking about her feelings, and it was like a scrapbook with your style, theatrical, magic. Tell me all about it, about the feeling of creating this kind of feeling.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you said it felt like a scrapbook, because that was actually a big reference, was just trying to make a film where it felt like all the visual effects were stuff that she could have made with her hands, with her friends, you know, because she's writing these poems on pieces of paper. She's playing her music. You wanted it all to kind of feel like it could emerge from a teenage hand. And so we worked really hard on having all the effects be in camera and practical, so that the whole film would have this like handmade feeling. Yeah. I think in Jandy's script, she writes, Joe is the sun and Toby is the moon. And I think when we cast them, we really felt that. Like, we felt like Jacques Coleman, who plays Joe, is such a light, open force and so present, and that Pico Alexandria plays Toby had this kind of mystery inside of him that you couldn't quite access, like the moon.
How are you doing? Because your grandma and I have been a little worried about you.
My sister is dead. There's no more music in me. No more dreams in me.
I've lost the one person on earth who understood me.
Tell me about your take of the character, because especially the guys for me represents different things in Lennie's life.
I really resonate with Joe and his reaction. Joe holds space for Lennie's grief, and that's something I myself find resonant with, because that's the role that I often play for friends and family. When I lost my grandmother, I ended up singing and playing on guitar "What a Wonderful World" with my best friend Erin Childs at her funeral. You know, there's a celebration of life that I think I innately can relate to with Joe. And Jandy Nelson always referred to him as the sun, and there's virtue, there's dignity in being that person for people.
If Joe is the sun, Toby is the moon. Toby is caught in this horrible web of grief. He doesn't know who he is without the love of his life, and he tries to cling to any, thread from his past to try to hold on to these feelings. He is not interested in looking forward and creating a new life for himself. He really is clinging to the past. Desperate and alone.
You must be Lennie Walker.
Toby stopped by. Go keep him company, make him feel welcome.
He is not interested in talking to me.
She was the love of his life.
No one at school gets it.
I don't think it's possible to get it unless you're in it, like we are.
For Lennie, Joe and Toby represent the past and the future, and both are kind of beacons of, I think Joe is this beacon of hope and light and, celebration of life and escape, and Toby is this person who just kind of represents understanding that, runs so deep and is so emotional. And funny enough, you guys talked about the sun and the moon, how Joe's kind of described as the sun and Toby is, the moon. When I was getting fitted into my costume, they had me design my sneakers. I got to doodle all over them and create little drawings. And on one shoe, I put the sun, and on the other shoe, I put the moon, because I kind of wanted to channel Toby and Joe's energy into my shoes. So it's kind of like I was always carrying them with me. So I had like
walking all over us, basically.
I know, basically, but yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. It's an amazing movie, very spiritual movie, and so magical. Thank you. You three are great. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Thank
See you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
With Joe, I feel so very alive.
But when I'm with Toby, there is someone with me in my grief.
I want to live like my sister did, with daring and spirit and so much joy.